Okay, let's talk about file-related commands within the command prompt. We'll start with dir, that's the directory command. This shows all of the files and folders, otherwise known as directories, that are inside of the folder that you're currently in the command prompt. So let's show an example of this now. We'll bring up the command prompt, and you'll see this is my path. By default, when you bring up a standard command prompt, it puts you in the users folder and the name of your user account. So if we were to type dir and press enter, this will show all the folders within there. And a lot of these are standard folders like contacts and desktop. And these contain the basic information for Windows for your user account. But I have some others here. I have a couple other folders like MD that I made and a couple others. And you can create whatever folders you want. You could do that in Windows Explorer or File Explorer or within the command prompt. So the dir command shows all this information. Now, we could go a little further with this. If we were to type dir /?, you could do additional things here. You can sort your directory contents by column or in a wide format or alphabetically. There's a lot of options for that. So if you get a lot of contents in a directory, you may want to sort them further and use one of these parameters for that. You know, for example, one of the ones that I do quite often is dir/p, or just lowercase p. And when we do that, nothing's going to happen here, but if we had more contents, it would stop it by the page, and you could press enter for each page. So that's a little bit about the dir command. You can use that to find all the information about the folder that you're in. This is just the same way as you would in File Explorer or Windows Explorer. It just shows you in a text format. Next is the cd, the md, and the rd commands. These are the directory manipulation commands. And cd is change directory, which means you can move from one directory to another within the entire directory tree in the command prompt. MD is make directory, so you can create yourself directories within there if you want to. And RD is remove directory, so you can get rid of those if you don't want them. And again, remember, directory and folder are synonymous. Folder is the term used when you're working in Windows Explorer or File Explorer. Directory is the term you use when you're working in the command line. So let's show each of these commands. And to do so, we're going to show a little DOS tree here. That's an old school term, DOS, Disk Operating System. But this is a tree of folders or directories, if you will. And we're going to actually create this entire tree. And it all starts with the C drive. This is the root of C. This is at the top of the tree, no matter what you're doing in Windows. And it's C:\\. And by the way, if you have any trouble or difficulty figuring out which is the backslash and which is the slash on the keyboard, the backslash, which is this, that's going to be the key that's near the backspace key. So that's a good way to remember that. So this is the root of C. That's where everything is stored in, but all that content is going to be stored in other folders. And we're going to go ahead and create some folders of our own. We're going to create the test directory, test_dir, within the root of C. And inside test_dir, we're going to create Office and Games. These will be known as subdirectories or subfolders of the test_dir directory. Inside Office, we'll create a couple more subdirectories, Word and Excel. And inside Games, we'll create two more, RPG and FPS. So let's go do that now. And I'll probably switch back and forth just to remember which folders we're going to be creating. But we'll go to the command prompt again. We'll clear the screen with a CLS. And the first thing I need to do is get to the root of C. And to do that, we use the cd command, the change directory command. And we just type cd \/ to get to the root. Press enter. That takes us all the way up through to the root. So we were in users/Lampricles, my username. Now we're in the root. We went all the way back to C:\\. And if we do a dir from here, we can find out lots of contents about the root of our drive and all the folders and information that's in there. And what we want to do now is we want to create a directory. We want to make a directory. So the first one we wanted to make was test_dir. To do that, we'll type md space test_dir. Press enter. And the cool thing about this is you don't get any message. I like to say no GNUs is good GNUs. And that means that everything's fine. If it didn't tell you that there's an error or a problem, then everything's OK, and that directory was created. And we can prove that by typing dir once again. If you look over here, the original dir that we typed, it shows all these folders in alphabetical order. And you don't see test_dir. But if we were to type dir again and press enter, we will now see that test_dir directory. Now that's the one we want to work in because that's where we want to place our other subdirectories. So what we need to do is change over from the C root over to the test_dir folder. To do that, we'll do cd space test_dir. Press enter, and that changes the folder or directory that we're now located within. Now, if we do a dir command from here, you'll see we really don't have anything. There's no contents here. So we're going to fill that with contents now. If we go back to our tree, we'll see that we want to place the Office directory and the Games directory within test_dir. So to do that, we're going to use the md command. And we're going to do md Office. Press enter. And again, it doesn't tell you anything, so we know that's been created. And also md Games, and press enter. That creates those two directories. If we type the dir command, we'll see that those directories are now within our test_dir directory. OK? So the next thing we want to do, if we go back to our tree here, is we want to create two directories, Word and Excel, within Office. So we'll go back to the command prompt. And so we're going to move over to the Office folder, first of all. And to do that, we'll do cd space Office. Press enter. Now our path is c:\test_dir/Office. And we can create those two folders that we want. Now, one of the cool things in the command prompt is you can combine commands. You can do more than one command at once. And we'll show that now. You can use the md command to create both of the directories you want in one shot. And so what do we want? Word and Excel? Correct. So we want Word and Excel. So we'll do md space Word, semicolon, Excel. Press enter. And it looks like it worked for us because, again, no messages. And if we type dir, we'll see that indeed both were created in one shot instead of having to type md Word, press enter, and md Excel, press enter. So there's a little shortcut for you to create multiple directories at once. And this could be, actually, it could be a lot faster than doing it in Windows Explorer or File Explorer. You know, if you want to go into File Explorer, you have to right-click, select Create Folder, do it again. You might be faster typing than you are with the mouse. So keep that in mind. Now we want to move from the Office folder, or the Office directory, over to the Games directory. And then from there, we're going to create RPG and FPS. So to do that, we could do a change directory command and go up here and then down here with another change directory command. You know, we could do a cd and move up to this directory and then back down. But we could also do it in one shot. So let's show both. First of all, if we wanted to move up from Office to test_dir, we would type cd space ... And that brings you up one level. And that's where this ... comes from when you see it listed when you do a dir. That means one level higher. And that's pretty much a universal thing. ... means you can go one level higher in the directory tree. So now we're in test_dir. And if we want to go down to games, we would just type cd space games. Press enter, and we're in that new folder that we created before. But you can do all that in one shot, and you could do that with a complete path. We're in the games directory right now, and if we wanted to go to Office, we could do an entire path to Office with one command. We could type cd \, which is the root, testdir \office. Let's show that now. cd \, which is the root, testdir \office. And look what happened. In one command, it brought us from here to here. You could also type c:\, testdir \office, and it would do the same thing. Plus, you could change from one volume letter to another if you wanted to change from C to F or what have you. But I want to go back to the games folder so I can create those two additional folders that we need. So I'll do the cd \testdir \games. And we're back where we need to be. OK, so once again, we want to create the RPG and the FPS folders within here. Let's just clear the screen. And to create those two folders, we're going to use the md command once again. We'll do md RPG. And we'll use that nice semicolon that we just showed before, and FPS. Press enter. It creates those two directories. We type dir to make sure. And there they are, FPS and RPG. Now we have our entire directory tree. It's all ready to go. Now we can take a look at all of that by going back to the test directory. And again, if we want to go up one level to the parent directory, we just do a cd space .. That brings us to the test directory. And we could use the tree command to see all the folders within there. And there you have it. You have Games, Office, and the folders we created inside each of those. So the tree command can be very powerful in showing all your folders and subfolders in a text format.